Welcome back to another tutorial. Today we're going to talk about those pesky things called passwords. Let's get started. So the last thing you want to do is lower your security by making simple passwords and just simplifying the process of you signing into things. At the same time, you don't want it to be so complicated that you just can't ever remember your passwords. In this tutorial, I'm going to be covering specifically Chromebooks, and these are your personal Chromebooks, not the OCS Chromebooks. Let me backtrack actually for just a second. You can do some of this with your OCS Chromebooks. So the first password that you have to deal with when you are talking about a Chromebook is your login password. And there's one thing I want to show you that might help simplify that process. Now, this method is just called SmartLock. Only will work if you have an Android phone. And what it does is your phone effectively acts as a key. And if it is within, I believe, 100 feet of your device, the device will unlock. So we're going to head down to the clock, click the clock, which pulls up this menu, click the cog to pull up the settings, and we're going to search for Smart Lock. And there it is. I pulled up this section which says Android phone. I won't necessarily go through all that, but that is available. And like I said, it allows you to bring your phone within a certain range of your device, and your device will unlock. Okay, so I've seen some people take passwords and write them down on notepads in their phone and whatnot. And quite honestly, though that method seems to be good, it's widely accepted and widely used, which means that people will be looking for that. The other problem, of course, is that all they have to do is read right off of a notepad. And so, although you might try to make it convoluted and hard to understand what these passwords apply to, there are better methods, and actually that are way easier for you. So first of all, let me say that there's at least one thing that you want with regards to passwords and websites, and that is a very complicated password, something that cannot just be guessed, because nowadays with supercomputers, they can what's called brute force a simple password within seconds. So how can you have both an incredibly complicated password but also remember it? Allow me to introduce you to password management. We need to head over to bottom left and then down to, we're headed towards the web store. No? Okay, so I scrolled down all the way, and mine is just at the very bottom, and that's how you get to the web store. And then we're going to type in here, Keeper. Now, there are many password management applications. And what these do is they store your passwords. But they don't just store them as plain text. They actually encrypt them. And the really good ones, they encrypt it on your computer and then send the encrypted password over to the database. So, for instance, Keeper, which I cannot exactly vouch for entirely, but most of them do this, they save an encrypted password so they don't even know what your password is. Google does have a password management software available. Now, I like to try to stay away from Google as much as I can, since they already have so much, and I'm a little bit worried about that. So there are some great applications available for you. So we're just going to head over to this application, click on the first one, and then add to Chrome. This is also available on any device that you're using Google Chrome on. Now, if you want a device-specific app, there are many, and the majority of them are free. Okay, so we can see it's been added to our Chromebook here, and we have to do some preliminary setting up, this is where you would sign in. So if you got onto a new device and you wanted to access your passwords, and this does, for instance, auto-filling and various things like that, you would need to sign in. Now, we have not done this yet, But while we're here, of course, we have our email address, which associates the account with us. And then we have what's called a master password. Now, this password, you do not want to be simple. This is the one password that you need to remember, and it needs to be fairly complex because it unlocks all of your passwords. For now, let's go ahead and click create an account, and I'll try to walk you through this process. So I've typed in my email address, click next, and enter in various things. Here is what I was mentioning, the master password. Make it fairly complex. So just a suggestion as far as making complex passwords. Some of the best passwords that you can make are a combination of 3 different words that are not necessarily related to each other, and then throw in a special character at random within one of those 3 words. So it's not it's not so complicated with these symbols and all that. It gives you that plain English, which you're able to kind of remember. But then, throw in some random character right in the middle. And you want to make sure this is at least 10 characters long. And of course, follow the guidelines. Some of them say that you can or cannot have certain symbols. You're going to have to follow those guidelines. It has to be a certain length, whatever. But that is my suggestion for a strong master password. After that, we're going to hit accept terms of use. And now it's going to ask us to verify that we indeed are setting it up and that we actually have access to this Gmail account. So we're going to head over to Gmail and get that code. So here we have in my inbox, I've got this this email, and here's the code. We're going to copy that. It's funny, they actually give you the option to create an account if it wasn't actually you. I don't know if that's true or not. All right, so paste it in there. I did a Control-C, Control-V, copy-paste into the verification code section. And here I have my vault. It's asking about importing passwords. I don't have any right now, so I'm going to click no and skip the setup. I would highly recommend you run through the setup just to kind of familiarize yourself with the program. But for now, we're skipping that. Now, what I would do then is go through and sign into some other application and tell Keeper, yes, you may save this password, and start building a database of passwords. Now, I would consider this way better than saving your passwords on your browser. In order to access the passwords on your browser, I'm not 100% familiar with the process of how they encrypt and how they take those passwords and save them. I'm sure they're encrypted and safe in some sort of way. But in order to gain access to those passwords, all you have to do is know the email account password, which in this case is could be easy. For a lot of people, their Gmail password is really easy because they don't want a hassle of having to type it in. So that is going to minimize the security of all of your passwords. So having some sort of password management software with a strong master password is going to help you tremendously. And the other thing to bear in mind is that now when you set up a password, make it very complex, something that's very hard to remember, because you don't actually have to remember it. Keeper will keep track of that. And then if somebody's trying to just randomly find your password, they will have an extremely, if not impossible, task at hand. So that is my suggestion. There is so much more, of course, you can get into as far as passwords. I just want you to be made aware of the resources so that you can secure your assets, secure your digital citizenship online in this very digital age. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you next time.